Welcome to the Resilient AF podcast. I'm Alex Fresh.
And I'm BennettKnows. We believe everything vibrates at a certain frequency, and we're here to raise the vibration.
You'll hear stories of resilience, manifestation, and what to do when you find that even resilience has a toll. Because the bitch is tired, honey. Hello.
Live from Mexico.
Heck yeah. How was your weekend? How was your weekend?
My weekend was really good. I didn't make it to the Lil Wayne concert though, but I ended up giving the tickets to my friend Holly, who's going to join the show soon. So she had a really good time and it was nice to relax. But yeah, I missed Weezy, but you know what? I feel like he's always on tour. So
See, we'll have to go next time.
We'll definitely go. Yeah, we're trying to make it a thing, but I had a good weekend. I just chilled.
Yeah, I had a good weekend too. I was in Cancun, which, you know, Cancun is like a party city.
Yeah.
I don't like to party, but I'll party during the day at the pool and get my drink on during the day, but I don't like to party at night. I get too tired. I'm a Taurus. I'm like in bed with my eye mask on. I don't know what happened, but I was like in bed for the last 2 days because I was so tired. I must have like had to catch up on sleep. But it sucks because I'm always outside in the sun, by the pool, on the beach, just chilling. And I'm at an all-inclusive, which means you can drink as much as you want and you can eat as much as you want. And like, I swear to God, I've barely been out of my room. I've ordered room service twice and the food was shit. I didn't even eat it. I couldn't even eat it because it was so gross. Like, honestly, I ordered 2 soft poached eggs and some toast this morning and I legit couldn't eat it because the eggs were so fucking hard. No, absolutely not. You know when the toast is cold and it's like even hard to tear?
Oh my gosh.
So I didn't even eat it. And I just put it back outside and I did have a couple of drinks and...
Were those good?
They were all right. I feel like they gave me a headache. I'm like, what is going on?
Are you just being bougie or are we really talking like it's not good?
I had to take Advil because I had a headache off the drinks, but it's my own fault because I wasn't drinking enough water and I probably didn't eat enough.
Okay, right, but exactly.
I'm still here for like a week and I'm about to get my pool on and all of that. So I think I'm good. I think I'm good now.
Your bikini looks so cute.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So, do you want to go into our peaks and pits?
Yes, let's do it. So my peak is I found a new apartment and signed the lease. I'm so excited about that because, you know, I've been in my apartment for about 4 or 5 years now, and I feel like there's been so much lifetime experience in this apartment that I'm so ready for a brand new one. So I love the new apartment.
When do you move in?
When I come back from Aruba. So the weekend after I return from Aruba, I'll be moving in. So I'm super excited because it's like a life reset. You know, I go to Aruba, get my vacay on, come back and start the new chapter. So I'm super excited about that. Yes. And I love the apartment. Everything's brand new and I'm
excited for you.
Yay,
you deserve a new fresh start, especially with who's lived in that apartment with you.
Yes, like my ex lived here, my father, my late father, he lived here at some point. So it's just like so exciting to have a new chapter for me. So I'm super excited about that. And I mean, other than that, maybe like the Weezy concert, but I don't even want to like put that out there because like my friend had a good time. She got to go to it and had a really, really nice weekend. So I have no pits.
Awesome.
Actually, no pets. Okay. No pets. So yeah, what's good with you?
Well, as you guys heard, I'm in Cancun right now and it's hot. It's like 90 something and I love that. But my pit is, I was supposed to be here on Tuesday of last week and I didn't get here till Friday because I found out that my son had pneumonia. I just wasn't feeling confident with leaving. I just felt something was wrong. I mean, he's been sick, but it's more of like a cough and a runny nose. I thought it was allergies for the most part, but I took him to the doctor the day before I left, or that I was supposed to leave, and found out he had pneumonia. So he's on antibiotics now. He's getting better, but you know, I stayed for a few days to make sure he's good and then flew out here on Friday. So I'll be here till the 26th, and I'm here right now for just for fun, and I'm here by myself and it's amazing. I love being here by myself and It is like kind of a little bit boring though. Sometimes I'm like, it would be nice if I had a friend here, but it's all good. I'm here and then I'm working. Like the last half that I'm here, I'm working. I'm doing Reiki at a retreat, and I'm really excited about that. That was my peak.
I've never gone on vacation by myself, but I hear it's like a thing to do for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I'm okay with being by myself and like really just figuring it all out. And I'm not scared to travel by myself, but it's just kind of boring sometimes. Like I would really love to be laying out by the pool with one of my friends.
You got to make friends.
I'm an introvert though. It's like there's so many hot guys here and I'm like, oh my God, I can't talk to any of them.
Yes, you can talk to at least one. Do not go sit by the pool by yourself, especially
I've already sat by the pool by myself.
Well, tell them one of them to come sit with you.
I sat at the fucking Bars Hotel by myself where it was popping. I was doing all the things by myself, but not for a long time, right? Because I've been in bed a lot, but I did do the things by myself. I've walked on the beach by myself. There's so many hot guys and they're like by themselves too, like with other guy friends.
You have to do something. You have to like yo, could I have a drink with you? Or because I know you're probably like, oh, maybe one of these guys will talk to me, but maybe it should just be you.
Hell no.
Yeah, you can.
No.
You might meet your future husband at this all-inclusive resort with bad poached eggs and like, you don't want to miss your chance.
Okay, well, I'll try again after we get off this.
Okay.
I'll go down there and I'll see what I can do, but I probably won't be able to do any of that.
You will.
I mean, I see the guys looking too, but they won't come up to me.
If they're looking, just be like, hey, come over here.
Bennett, I love that you could do that. I love it. It's so easy for you.
It's really not though. It's really not. I struggle too. But like if I was in Mexico and I'm like chilling and I look good and somebody that looks good is next and I'm by myself, just be like, yo, come over.
Yeah. There's like these private pools for adults only, and there's like 6 of them, and there was this one that had like only guys, and they were all hot, and I'm like, oh man, I should go sit in front of that one, but I didn't. I sat down.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
There was a point in my life where like if anything popped up in my head, like anything, like I wouldn't even think about it. I would just do it. So with that thought, I wouldn't even think about sitting by the pool. I would just do it. And I mean, I lived this period in my life very short. It's a very, very short period in my life, but it works. And it sounds like you need to live your life like that while on vacation.
You would get in the pool with them.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Not sit in the pool and next to them, just like sit in it with them.
I don't know. That would be so awkward. Like, just there's so many pools open.
I mean, at first, the only way to like situations are awkward until you break the ice, you know? So like, yeah, at first it's like, what the fuck? But then after it's like, okay, like, who are you? What's up?
I'll let you know how that goes.
Well, fingers crossed. I dare you to get into the pool with all the hot guys today.
Okay, I'll let you know if I do. All right, well, that's that. That's my peak and pit. My peak was that I'm in Mexico, obviously. So we're not going to do an Ask Alex this week. We're going to go straight into the resilient story, which is Bennett. He's going to share some of his stories from his childhood. And we'll get into that right now. So welcome to the podcast, Bennett. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me. I've been listening to the podcast since the first episode. So
thank you so much.
I can't believe I'm here. So last week you discussed your childhood. So I just wanted to talk about my childhood and like something that I feel like a lot of people may want to hear or need to hear right now. Last week during Ask Alex, we talked about decisions that we would have made if we went back in time. And I said I would have everybody in college because I didn't. And I was a virgin until I was 24. And a big part of that was because I wasn't comfortable with my sexuality, which was like a huge battle, like my whole beginning of my life. Yes, I've always known I was gay. I've been gay since I could remember, but the journey there, believe it or not, of me accepting myself has been a very long one. So
you say that you knew, but were you ever like, were you questioning it a lot? Like you knew, but
no, I knew. I remember getting into pornos and knowing exactly what I liked as a child. So that's never been a question. And I knew that like, I always were attracted to like my guy friends. I remember at summer camp, like I got in trouble because I was like changing in the stall with another little boy. But it's just like, you know, as a child growing up, obviously like you have the birds and the bees, but you don't know that like you want to be in a relationship and what that means, you know? So yeah, I knew that I was attracted to boys. I didn't know what the term quote unquote gay was or what that meant growing up. I just, you know, I'm a child. But the way that I learned what gay was really difficult, because I remember going to, this was probably like 4th and 5th grade. I got bullied really, really bad, because this is how I learned what gay was. Kids would call me and tease me and call me the gay boy. And it was like a derogatory term, you know? So I was called the gay boy, or you sound like a girl, or it was just like a lot of, you know, just really negative things. And I remember going home to my mom being like, oh, like, what is gay? And she told me, and I was like, well, yeah, like all of the kids at school keep on calling me that. And she was pissed off. And I think it was like more of like, wow, my child is being bullied. But also, I'm from the hood, you know, so you don't talk about being gay in the hood. That's just something that's kept on the low. It's kind of like ignored. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't, you know, and that's that. So from my mom's upbringing, like she was like, I'm going straight to the school. She went up to school with me, had a conversation with my teacher, and it was like a big thing, you know, like that I was being called gay in school. So that's like one way that I learned
So
of like,
you found out what it meant. Were you like, oh yes, I am? And like, did you not want to tell your mom? Did she know?
I didn't tell my mom at the time. Yes, I knew what it meant. At the time, I knew I was gay, but I didn't tell my mom, because at this point, all of the kids been like calling, like it was, I got bullied so bad that like, no, I don't want anyone to know that I'm gay, because it's
That
like
is so
such a
sad.
bad thing.
How old were you like when the bullying started?
I was in 4th grade, so that's like
Yeah.
eight
And
or
then
9.
what would besides calling you like the gay boy, like what would they do? Was it just relentless? Was it?
No, I just got called names all the time, be the gay boy, or oh my gosh. They had a song about me, okay? Listen,
What?
so this is how crazy kids are. They had a song about me. So the mayor of Providence was Mayor Cicilline, and he was also a gay man. So they would sing, Bennett is sitting on the sofa with Mayor Cicilline playing strip poker, and like the kids would sing that. You know, so wild. I laugh at it now, but like the fact that kids were singing that and they were so, I don't know, making songs up, it's just like out of this world. So like, yo, they would always make fun of my voice. Why do you talk like that? Or like just a question like, are you gay? I just learned it was a bad thing. You're not supposed to be gay. Everyone's making fun of me because of this. They weren't nice. I would cry all the time. Like it just wasn't a good thing. So like I just suppressed that. And like growing up in the hood, it's not something that you talk about, you know? My mom would hear, like, I went to the Boys and Girls Club a lot. I hung out with the girls all the time. So my mom would hear, oh, he just hangs out with the girls all the time. He's always with the girls. My mom, half being like, I want to protect my son from this lifestyle. And the other half being like, I really don't want him to be gay, because I don't think that she was comfortable with that. Just growing up where I'm from, I didn't know any gay people, you know? Mm-hmm. And the people that my parents, I guess they grew up with, they lived very, very difficult lives, you know? So my mom, she just didn't want that for me. And it wasn't discussed in the household. It was just like kind of ignored and suppressed. Mm-hmm. So between like being bullied in school and like it being kind of like suppressed in my household, and you know, when it was discussed, it was more of like, you're in trouble, like you shouldn't be hanging out with the girls, you should be playing football, you should be with the guys. Why is everybody making fun of my son? Like this is a big deal. Like I'm just thinking like, yo, this isn't a good thing. And also I was brought up Christian Baptist, you know? This was like before I was adopted, grew up with my biological father. So I always grew up in church, and we all know that like the Bible says, you know, 2 men can't lay down together. And I kind of like went along with that too. You know, I always wanted to be like spiritually, and as a Christian, I wanted to be the best person I could be. And I knew that, you know, being gay in the church wasn't accepted. So that even added more like suppression onto, you know, my sexuality for sure. And I remember I used to pray the gay away, as people would say. So just like pray at night, like, please God, please, just like, I don't want to be gay anymore. Like, please just change. Ain't no way to answer my prayers because I'm still gay, you know? So by the time I got to like through high school, and even in high school, like nobody was bullying me, but I still would always get that question, like, are you gay? You know? And it was just like at that point, it was like the connotation with it. I'm like, I don't want anyone to know this. And also, how do I know if I'm gay? Like, I've never been in a relationship with a guy. I've never done anything with a guy. So why do I have to answer that question?
So is that like, were you in denial because you said that you knew from a really young age?
I was definitely in denial because I learned that like, this is a bad thing. Everyone's going to make fun of you because of it.
Yeah.
So half of it was,
tell them no.
I would tell them no.
Did you have a girlfriend?
No, I didn't have girlfriends either. Nope, no girlfriends. I'm pretty sure like everybody assumed that, well, everyone already knew the whole time, you know, when they were asking me. I did know, but I didn't want to say anything because I just thought there would be like really bad repercussions for that. And like I said, I come from the hood, so there weren't any gay men in my life that I interacted with on day to day, you know? My best friend, and I think so interesting. She's gay and she's like one of the first people that I know personally that was like open and gay, but her parents were like, she grew up different. Like she had a lot more freedom and opportunity to be herself, and her family was so accepting at the time. Mine wasn't, you know, through my experiences and, you know, everything I shared, it wasn't discussed. It wasn't a thing. So I know my best friend Jay was like the first person I told, and I remember her being like, oh, cool. Like it wasn't a big deal at all. And like, I think that's probably one thing that definitely allowed our friendship to like blossom, because she was so accepting and she was the first person that I told, and she didn't care at the time, you know? So I remember at the time I had like a little quote unquote boyfriend on MySpace, and I kept that to myself. And that's as much as I experienced as a gay guy or in high school, you know? I had like people that I had a crush on, but it didn't go any further than that. By the time I got to college, I didn't date. I didn't explore it because even still at the time, I still carried all of those feelings and everything I learned with me growing up in elementary school and my parents and all of that to college. And I still got the questions. I remember my freshman year in college, that's when I started like being like more open with the people around me, like my friends. So I remember I had a friend, my late friend Marissa. Like I remember one gay girl asking me, like, oh, are you gay? And it was from a gay woman, you know? And she wasn't asking it from the negative connotation that I've always known. She just wanted to know if I was down with the crew. And I remember one of my other friends at the time being like, just knowing that I wasn't comfortable with my sexuality at the time, her being like, don't you dare ask my friend that. Like, how dare you? And she was more of like protective of me at the moment. So at that time, I remember telling her, and I remember telling like a couple of my other friends, and, you know, having those conversations with those close friends around me, like maybe like 5 people, and all of them being like accepting and just letting me know that like, yo, it's okay. And like more of being like curious about it and asking me questions about like, have you ever been with a guy? Like, what would it be? You know? So with those friends that were around me, they showed me that like, you know what, it is okay. But even still, it was still hard for me to come out, because at this point, like I said, I'm like, why would I come out if there's no reason for me to come out? Like, I don't have a boyfriend. I'm not talking to anybody. So like, there's really no point for me to come out. And in college, it was really hard for me because like, while everybody was like experiencing and like hooking up and getting into relationships, I wasn't able to, like, and it was really, really a struggle for me. Like, I remember going out and like, I would end up like, just like crying to myself all the time. Like I'd be at a party crying to myself, and my friends are like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I'm like, I'm just doing so bad on my schoolwork, on my papers, or, you know, just like pulling shit out of my ass. But it was really because I was gay and I wanted to be gay, and I had crushes on guys, and I just didn't know how to explore that or felt like I could. So yeah, I would just like bullshit and make all of these lies. And during this time, like I said, my friends, they knew, and, you know, I had a couple of girlfriends who were gay, and I would go to the gay club with them. So I was like kind of exploring, or just kind of in like just seeing things, but I wasn't dating anyone. I wasn't hooking up with anybody, none of that, you know? So I was just kind of like opening myself up to, I guess, like that lifestyle or that idea. And I remember one time, like my parents, they had like a group, a meeting. And they're like, well, we've heard, and you know, at this point I live on campus, so I'm not at home a lot. And they're like, we heard that you went to a gay club and you were dressed up like a drag queen. which was not true. I've never cross-dressed in my life. Nothing against cross-dressers, but that's not
Okay.
my thing, you know? So I remember being like shocked. They were like kind of like disgusted. And I'm like, yeah, I was at the gay club, but I never dressed like a woman. Like that's not what I do. But yeah, I remember telling them like I am gay.
Okay.
Yeah, I did show up to the gay club, and that's not like I had to set the record straight at the time. And I think from living on campus and like just having the freedom with that small group of friends, I was able to have that conversation with my parents, which was a huge catalyst of why I, suppressed it for so long because of how I
Yeah.
grew up. And
How did they take that?
they were like, first they were like, okay, well, first we just want to let you know that we don't care like what you are, like it doesn't really matter. But then like I know that my mom, I just feel like some parents, it's not that they don't want their kid to be gay or they're ashamed of it. I think they're more of like trying to protect their kids. They know that like, especially from what they grew up going through, and it's more accepted now, but like at the time, like from what they've seen and what they experienced, they know it's like a difficult lifestyle. And I feel like that definitely was a huge part of my mom trying to suppress it or trying to ignore it, because she probably didn't want me to go through that. So I remember at the time she's like, but why? Or like, you're so handsome. There's so many girls that you could have. And I'm just being like, that's not like what I like. It's just like straight up like pizza. Like if you don't like an ingredient, you're not going to eat it. And I'm not going to eat it. So
And
I
it's like
remember.
wild to like think about adults not understanding that, even then, crazy.
Yeah, and I've had to have that, and it's really just based on how you grow up. I've been down to Texas and like told people that I met, like, yeah, I'm gay, and how are you? What, like, why? And just being like, I like boys. Like it's really that simple. But for some people who just they've never experienced that or been exposed, they have no idea.
Yeah.
And even with me coming out to my parents, I still didn't come out to everyone else. I still didn't date people. I still wasn't exploring my sexuality.
And what, you were like 20 at this time?
I was like 20. If somebody asked me, I would tell them like, yeah, I am gay, but
Yeah.
the follow-up questions, like I didn't have the answers for anything to follow up to that. I just, like I said, I just slowly, at this point, I really think it took for me to accept myself after everything I went through to really be able to live my life. I remember when Obama passed the law for same-sex marriage. That's when I like, all right, well, like this is the law of the land, and like I'm sick of people asking me, so I just like put a post on Facebook, and I was like, you know what? Obama passed a law today, so you know what? I'm gay. Stop asking me, and that's that. And like everyone be like, finally, or like, we're so happy for you, or like, and like there was really no bad responses. The only person, like I did have this one guy friend, like he was a really close friend throughout college, and I had the biggest crush on him. And like he was the only person that like, because I liked him, and I remember telling him, and he was the only person that like totally cut me off, like
Oh, damn.
100%. Like the first guy that I actually liked and had like was really close to, and we were really good friends. And honestly, he probably was kind of interested himself, But I remember when I put it out there and I said it to him, he like that was the last time I heard from him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
That's abandonment, someone who like you had a really close connection with and you guys were close. And then because of who you are, like that causes issues.
Right. It did, So I don't know, like by that end of college and, when, Obama passed the law, then I was like, okay, well, I guess I could live my gay life. And that's when I started exploring and stuff. But that was like I said, I lost my virginity when I was like 24. And that was just like not a relationship. That was just like a quick hookup. Like I really didn't get to live my full gay life until I moved to Seattle. Until I was like in a completely new place where I could like redefine myself. But not even redefine myself, just be who I was without any suppressions or anyone around me. Plus, Seattle's such a gay-friendly city, and I don't know if people in like around here know that. Back home, it's crazy because I can't tell you any gay guys that I went to college with, and I'm pretty sure there was plenty of them, and I know there was plenty of them. But we're all going through the same thing,
Yeah.
We're like, I know so many men today who cannot be themselves for one reason or another, and I just want to go back to like loving yourself. Like, I think that that's the biggest thing in this, that like loving yourself, regardless of like what you're going through, is the most important thing, because like, one, you owe it to yourself. I just think back to the days where I was crying over not being who I wanted to be, and thinking it was like such a bad thing from like all of the experiences I had growing up. But then when I came out, like, I received nothing but love,
Yeah.
like most of it was love. Nobody really cared. And to think that like I spent so many years praying the guy away, so many years crying over like ridiculous things when no one really cared. It's just like, damn, like I really wasted that time in like low vibrations, just being really, really sad. And, I owe it to myself, and you owe it to people in your life. I think people around you and people around us deserve to experience like the real, true, genuine people that we are, and when you're suppressing, whether it's your sexuality or anything else, like they're not getting that. They're not getting you, and I think that's like
I think it's really important that you said that. We live in a city that's very like open and fluid, and a lot of places in the US are not like that.
Mm-hmm.
And to just think about this, if you're not, accepting of someone who you don't, you can't fathom that lifestyle, who are you to tell someone who they should or should not love? And even further, think about like, if you were in that situation and like you didn't, and you were a guy, you didn't like girls, and like you were not even just remotely comfortable with talking about who you love. I think it's really sad that people have to suppress that and live years and years, sometimes their whole life, without being able to be open about who they actually love because they're too ashamed because of other people's opinions. And that's extremely sad. So when I think about it, I just try to explain in a way, like, put yourself in that situation. Like, it depends. Like, if you're a guy, they don't like girls. If you're a girl, they don't like guys. Like, think about that. Like, if you couldn't express who you love because you have too much shame, or like you're too worried or too scared, have too much fear to say it out loud because of what other people will think of you. And it's a huge, real thing. Even though the world is becoming more fluid, I do feel like in Seattle and in the West Coast really is a lot more open. And it's a lot less like that in certain areas of the US, like really a lot less. Mm-hmm. And, we have a long way to go, but I just want to tell you that you're super, like, the courage that you have and that you're speaking about this will help others. And I love the fact that you are speaking about this right now, because we haven't had anybody on who has spoken about it. And it's so important. And it's like one of the biggest things I feel like right now in our society that needs to be spoken on, because there's so many people who are still living not who they really are. Yeah. So, people like you and other people speaking about their situation and their experience will help others have more courage to be able to come out sooner than they may have.
Absolutely. I just remember telling my friends and then being like, oh, okay. And like that, removing the weight of the world, it's like, you really just got to love yourself, because honestly, everybody else doesn't matter. Like I said, everybody else after the fact didn't even really care. They were sharing their perspective and their experiences on my life. And when it really came down to the P's and Q's, like, I feel like the love that they had for me, most people have for me, like, outweighed like their perspective and stuff. And it was like, okay, who cares? So yeah, just love yourself. Yeah, I can't imagine living my life otherwise.
I used to carry so much shame and guilt from my mom for stupid stuff. And when I started just living myself, who I was, and not giving a fuck about what I'm saying or what I'm doing, and really having no shame about any of it, like, it feels so much better. It's just living who you are, no matter what it is. It feels so much better. And you'll get to a point where, like, I don't give a fuck.
Just love yourself, and everyone deserves it. And like, I just know so many men that are still struggling. And like, I tell them, like, yo, I completely understand. Like, I know it's hard for you to think that, like, my gay ass, because like now I live my best life. I don't give a fuck, and I know it's hard for you to believe that, like, even me, I had to struggle with that all my life. So I understand what you're going through, but I think at the end of the day, the greatest hurdle is just like loving yourself, because once you love yourself, it doesn't even matter what anybody else thinks around you. Like, you're going to do you.
Yeah. Super important. Love yourself and love everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, not hard.
That part too. Because like, if you love yourself, you're going to spread love. If you're really going to like judge someone and send hate their way, maybe that says a little bit about yourself.
Great. Well, Bennett, thank you again for telling your story.
Thank you for
And there's
having
a lot
me.
more. I know there's a lot more. So we'll continue telling our story in the future and other detailed stories of when we were growing up and things that happened that will connect to other people who are going through likewise situations. But for now, if you also want to share your story, then hit us up at ResilientAF3 on Instagram. You can also email us at resilientaf3@gmail.com. Just give us some little cliff notes about your story and we'll hit you back and find a time. And yeah, that's going to do it for this week. I'm just traveling right now and it's like really chaotic. And next week I'm going to be traveling as well. So we'll see how next week pans out. That's why the audio is kind of shitty right now because I'm on my phone. I tried using this like new mic that I got and
it kind of
worked.
Kind of, sort of.
But yeah, next week I do want to do an Ask Alex. So hit us up in the DM, ask us a question. And if it's spicy enough, we'll answer it.
Yes, make it spicy.
Make sure to follow us at ResilientAF3 on Instagram. And you can also follow us individually. I'm at Andreas.
I'm at BennettKnows.
And we hope you have a fantastic rest of your week.
Yeah, you too in Mexico.
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 You know what? So I'm here by myself and I got here like a week before I'm supposed to for work. And I did it on purpose because I just want to like hang out by the beach right before I have to work. And everybody who works here in Mexico who's like, are you here by yourself? Because I have to go to resorts, check in by myself. I'm like at dinner by myself. And when I say, yeah, I'm by myself, they look at me crooked. I'm like, should I be scared? Because I'm not scared.
Just don't leave the resort.
All the workers are like, you're just here by yourself? And I say, yeah. And they look at me like I'm crazy. And I'm like,
Should I not be
I
saying
don't feel scared. Like I'm taking random taxis hella far away and just trusting that people will get me to where I'm supposed to go. And I'm not scared, like, but the way that they're looking at me, I'm like, what?
Maybe you should be. Just be careful.
I will be. But if you don't hear from me next week, you'll know why.
No, stop. Don't say that.
I'll be fine.
You will.
But anyway, love you. And I love all of you guys listening. We'll see you next week.
Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.